Hi guys, I'm Arthur, aka Starbucks CMDR from Extreme Gaming. This is the first show we're going to do. It's a new show, and it's all about Star Wars Battlefront, which is due out later this year, November, I believe, from DICE. Now, Battlefront was originally released in 2004, with a sequel in 2005, and there was numerous rumours about a third Battlefront being released by Factor 5. Was it Factor 5 or some other company? It never happened. There was like a PSP version, but it never really sort of lit the fire like the other two titles did. Now, there's a lot of hype around Star Wars at the moment. I'm sure you're aware that the Force Awakens trailer has debuted just before Christmas and has somewhere in the region of something like 200 million hits on YouTube, and that is literally a minute's worth of footage. So what we're going to do is each week, or hopefully each week, we're going to try and run up all the news and rumours we've heard about Star Wars Battlefront and try and dive into them and see what is fact, what's fiction, and potentially what could happen based around these rumours. So that's the premise of this show, okay? So bear with us. This one's it might be a bit shaky. It's the first one we've done. But we're keen. We're excited about Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I have a lot of knowledge on Star Wars. I was about to say if you'd seen my bedroom, but that sounds awfully creepy, doesn't it? But if you have seen my memorabilia room, then there's an awful lot of Star Wars stuff in there. So we're going to crack on. What do we know about Star Wars Battlefront? Well, it's being made by DICE, which I'm really happy about. And prior to their announcement, the DICE devs were seen on forums talking about games they'd love to have had a hand in making, and Battlefront was really high in that list. So I'm really pleased to see that EA have got the rights to do that, and that it's the team at DICE that are making Battlefront. They are famous, obviously, for Battlefield, which is obviously big team battles where teams face off each other on numerous different landscapes and environments with big effects and loads of different vehicles. So to have DICE doing that, to have DICE doing Star Wars Battlefront, for me, is a great thing. We know it's released in November, so we're looking at potentially a month before Star Wars The Force Awakens hits cinemas, which is December the 18th. There's a lot to bear in mind about that, about release dates, because obviously Star Wars The Force Awakens is in December. The game will drop in November. Now, we'll come on to that in a moment, but what it does mean, obviously, is the game will primarily focus on events prior to The Force Awakens for spoiler reasons. And as anyone that follows Star Wars Online will know, and we're going to later, there's a lot of stuff that slips out the set. So I'm sure that Lucasfilm, or Disney as they are now, or own them, will be really tight on EA and saying you can't release stuff that's going to give away plot details. That's pretty much all we know about Star Wars Battlefront for sure. I mean, we know, obviously, from the trailer that was released at E3 last year, that the game will feature snowspeeders, it will feature Hoth, it will feature Endor, it will feature ASTs and Stormtroopers, which pretty much everyone assumed anyways. But there is more to that as well. We can look at. Obviously, what it does confirm is that Battlefront will focus on the classic trilogy, which I'm a huge fan of. So we can expect to see some really cool battles and some really cool ships. But that's kind of all we know for certain. I'm sure this year, June, after Battlefield Hardline has been released, I'm sure we'll start to see the information ramp up about Battlefront. But until that time, that's it. Hardcore facts, that's all we really know. So let's go on rumours. Now, I'm going to go through the rumours. So, again, I must stress, there might be spoilers here for you. So if you are a Star Wars fan, you don't want to know nothing about either The Force Awakens or nothing about Star Wars Battlefront, I applaud you with your will of steel, your Jedi-like mindset, but I can't help myself. I have to know everything about Star Wars. So there may be some spoilers at this point forward. So if you don't want to know, don't listen. Okay, still here? Good. Lovely. Right. So I follow a website which is called Making Star Wars, and they've been really, really good at getting information about The Force Awakens, and pretty much everything they've said about The Force Awakens has been fact or factually proven. So they had a lot of stuff about the date of the original teaser trailer, the crossguard lightsaber, some of the other stuff that's come out, some set photos that have been released, that's all been proven factually correct. They're a real good source for stuff that's come to pass. Now, they posted recently about Star Wars Battlefront saying they'd seen a screenshot referencing some of the parts about Star Wars Battlefront from DICE, and it was referencing the single player. Now, I'll go through some other stuff. It mentions a number of different planets that were going to be in the game. It also mentions a few bits and bobs about the hero system, which we'll go on to. So the planets we've got confirmed. Now, I was going to make sure I get this right. Tatooine, episodes 1, 4, and 7. Hoth, Endor, Alderaan, and Coruscant. They're the maps that Making Star Wars say they saw on a screen that were in the game. Obviously, Tatooine we know is in episode 1. We know it's obviously in episode 4, and we've seen from the trailer, it's now confirmed pretty much that is going to be Tatooine, where you see John Boyega as step up as a stormtrooper. What is interesting about this, though, is when you look at two other maps. So we know about Hoth, we know about Endor. That was in the trailer from DICE anyways. But Alderaan was interesting because obviously post episode 4, there's no Alderaan, it's destroyed. And during episode 4, Princess Leia makes the comment, we have no weapons. So I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out as a map if it's confirmed. Bearing in mind this is rumours. Will we see a sort of battle that happened prior to episode 4, maybe during the Clone Wars, or will we see like a new style of gameplay for this map? Will it be an espionage mission? Will it be stealth? We have to sneak in and sneak around. Keen to see how that plays out. The other map I'm looking at there is Coruscant, obviously the unofficial capital, or the capital of the galaxy. We don't see any combat during on Coruscant during any of the films really, and it is in some of the animated series, but we don't see it on the films. So will this be during the Clone Wars, or will this be showing after the Return of the Jedi? Will it focus on how the New Republic, or Rebellion as they are then, take back Coruscant? Again, interesting to see. It does say there will be ground to space battles, which if you're like me, that will make your heart absolutely sing, because that's what we want. It does say it's 64 players, which sounds about right, because Battlefield is 64 players, so 32 in each team. It does say there's a hero system, so therefore there'll be heroes for each side, and that's pretty much all they say that you've seen in this sort of brief screenshot, screen cap. So looking at what I've just said there, there's a lot to take in, but we'll take the hero system as a start. The hero system featured in previous Battlefront games. Will they keep it the same way? Will it be your team has to amass a certain amount of points before you can select to be a hero? How many heroes can you have on the field for each team at any one time? Or will it be a totally random thing where one player's picked at random to be the heroes? Much like if you remember Arkham Origins, where as you went into a multiplayer game, 2 people were picked to be Batman and Robin. Who knows? DICE have very much said that as where they respect the original Battlefront and what it did, they definitely want to make it their own version of the game. And it is listed as an FPS, so it is a first-person shooter. So how will that work out? What heroes would we like to see? Will we see Boba Fett? Will we see Han Solo? Obviously Darth Vader. If there's force powers, how will they play out? There's tons of stuff to talk about here, and obviously this is the first show, so I don't want to go into too much detail, because what we'll do as the rumours dry up or explode, whatever, we'll focus on each segment per show. So we'll have a whole show about spaceflight, we'll have a whole show about heroes. But this is just what we know so far. In terms of the other thing to note there, that was a screen grab about the single-player campaign. Now, what I thought, single-player campaign, I put my teeth back in. But what's interesting about that is if all of these maps feature in a single-player campaign, are we playing one particular character? So is this character all the way from episode 1 and all the way up to episode 7? So are we going to see a character that's actually in episode 7, or will it be revealed that this is that character? We know from the casting, there's an actor, Max von Sydow, who's actually older than time itself. He's in episode 1, and no one really knows his character. It's rumored he's a cyborg, and he has links to all of the previous trilogies, so it could be that character. Again, I'm speculating. It is all rumours, and this is guesswork at best. So there we are. That's what we know about rumours. That's what we know about what Making Styles have said. They also mentioned DLC, and that there's going to be quite a heavy bit of DLC for that for this title. So how that pans out, we'll see. Will the DLC be based on current maps, or will it be based on the new films? My assumption would be, going back to release dates, that DLC will be based around The Force Awakens. Obviously, Star Wars Battlefront launches a month beforehand. DLC has always featured quite heavily with Battlefield games, so I can see there being no difference for Battlefront. It would also make more sense to say that map specific to Star Wars The Force Awakens that aren't going to spoil the plot for other people will be released post-launch, and also on the back of the Star Wars hype. I'm a big fan of the Battlefield series. If you know me and follow me, you'll understand that. I like premium. I think it gives you great value for money. I imagine that if they follow the same suit, they'll get an awful lot of content for a season pass holder or a premium pass holder. I'd also like to see the Battlefront. I forget what it's called now. The online app you can use for Battlefield. I'd love to see that brought to PC so you can customize your logos and stuff. And that's pretty much it. That's all we've got. So the next episode I'll bring you, we're going to discuss a segment in more detail. So we'll look at some of the maps. And maybe look at some of the hero system. It is the first show, so if you've got any news, if you've heard any rumours, please tweet me with what you've heard, what you'd like to see on the show, if there's anything I've missed off, and I can discuss it, and then I'll give you a shout out as well on the show. As for me, I've been Arthur. Like I say, I'm at extreme_gaming. You can send your questions to me, and this video will be up very shortly. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next Star Wars Battlefront show. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to the Extreme Gaming Battlefront special show, where I, Arthur, stay up as Mr. Smerkensbergen. This is a voice test, so I'm not really trying. Some shit. And back on the streets, we have some shit with some shit news about shitty things that happen to Are we going? Is it going on that? Well, can I just say, right? Can I just say, guys, I'm Arthur, aka Starbucks CMDR, and welcome to a new show that we're doing. We're going to try and do it as regular as possible, and it's all about Star Wars Battlefront. If you're not sure what Battlefront is, then you must have been living in a cave somewhere for the last 10, 15 years, because it's been a big part of gaming. I've got to stop.
Oh my god! He's living in the cave! Just is fucking laughing. Oh. I'm fucking laughing in the